Welcome to Trending Unpacked, the podcast where we explore what the world is talking about, one trend at a time. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating exploration into a phrase that has, well, it feels like it's absolutely permeated our online spaces, hasn't it? And even real-world conversations. Clock it. It's one of those expressions that suddenly seems to be everywhere. Maybe you've spotted it in your feeds, seen it used in a meme, or maybe heard it pop up in conversation without fully grasping its captivating background and its really surprising journey. So we're going to unpack its origins, delve into its many different uses, and really get to grips with why this seemingly simple phrase has captured the internet's collective attention with such just incredible speed.
It's true. The ubiquity of clock it is genuinely remarkable, and like so much of our contemporary slang, it's far from simple. On the surface, yeah, it might appear to be a straightforward command or observation,
Yeah.
but it carries this really complex, multi-layered history. These phrases, they aren't just fleeting trends, they embed significant cultural weight and narrative, and they're continually evolving as they traverse different communities, different platforms, different contexts.
Right.
The beauty of understanding an expression like clock it is that it offers us this invaluable window into the broader linguistic and social shifts that are rapidly reshaping our digital landscape. It's a compelling example of how language isn't just some static archive, but a vibrant, living entity, it's in motion.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because you've hit on something truly fundamental. Clock it isn't a phrase with just one single static definition. Its meaning is remarkably fluid, almost chameleon-like. It adapts dramatically depending on the specific context where you find it. At its foundational level, to clock someone or something essentially means to notice, right? Or to call out a specific detail, often something subtle, something that might easily go unnoticed by someone less attentive.
Exactly. Keen observation.
Yeah. Like imagine a scenario. You're walking through a bustling market and your friend points to a vendor's stall saying, "Clock it. That handmade jewelry is exquisite." They're urging you to really see it, the intricate craftsmanship that might otherwise just blend into the background noise. Or maybe you're observing a situation and you notice a fleeting expression on someone's face that just betrays their true feelings, even as they're trying to keep that poker face. You've clocked that tiny revealing detail. It's about a keen, often discerning act of observation, like taking a mental snapshot of something noteworthy.
And what's truly fascinating here, and actually essential to understanding its current usage, is where that foundational understanding of clocking really took root. The phrase's crucial origins are deeply embedded in the vibrant and historically rich LGBTQ plus ballroom culture.
Okay. Yeah.
For those less familiar, ballroom culture is this fiercely creative and competitive subculture, primarily pioneered by Black and Latinx LGBTQ plus individuals. It's a space where participants compete in balls across various categories, showcasing elaborate fashion, dance, performance, and these highly refined personas. Think of it as a place for celebration, absolutely, but also identity formation, and often a really vital form of self-expression and survival in a world that often marginalized them.
Right, a really significant cultural space.
Absolutely. And in this original context, to clock someone carried a very specific and often quite profound meaning. It meant to notice or call out a particular detail about a person, sometimes something that might inadvertently reveal a part of their true self they were trying to conceal. Or, crucially, in a competitive sense, a flaw in their presentation. Okay. So, noticing something wasn't quite right.
Precisely. Consider the intense scrutiny and artistry involved in ballroom. A performer or a voguer might spend hours, maybe even days, perfecting their entire look, their walk, their attitude, creating a flawless illusion. To be clocked in that environment could mean someone noticed, say, a wig line that wasn't perfectly blended into the scalp.
Ooh, okay.
Or an ill-fitting garment that disrupted the smooth silhouette, or even a small, almost imperceptible slip in their dance routine that broke the illusion of effortless perfection.
So it had real stakes.
Huge stakes. This was far from just casual observation. It was about an incredibly keen, critical, and often highly competitive observation within a scene that valued authenticity, creativity, and flawless execution above almost anything else. It demanded an eye for meticulous detail, a deep understanding of presentation, and sometimes, it was delivered as a direct public critique. It could literally make or break a competitor's performance.
The significance of this specific cultural origin really cannot be overstated. Language that is born from marginalized communities, particularly those that rely on nuanced, sometimes coded communication for identity, for expression, even as a form of resistance. It often possesses a particular sharpness, a depth, layers of meaning. These terms often become a form of internal shorthand, a way to communicate efficiently and powerfully within the community. It's a testament to the profound linguistic innovation and resilience found within these spaces, which continually enrich our broader cultural lexicon, often, frankly, without mainstream recognition of their source.
And that's where the journey of Clock It becomes so incredibly compelling, isn't it? It began in this very specific, incredibly rich cultural context, steeped in the artistry and, as you said, the critical eye of ballroom. And from there, it started to bridge the gap, making its way into more general sort of everyday slang.
Exactly, the transition.
Yeah. As it moved beyond the immediate confines of the ballroom, its meaning seemed to soften, and it broadened considerably. In this more mainstream usage, Clock It essentially evolved to mean something closer to pay attention or take note of this. Often delivered in a much more neutral or even just an instructional sense, it kind of shed some of that critical high-stakes edge from its origin. It became more about just drawing focus or highlighting something interesting.
Less critique, more pointing out.
Right. For instance, you might be scrolling through social media and a friend posts a picture of a stunning sunset with the caption, "Clock It, nature's masterpiece." Here, they're simply inviting you to admire the beauty, just drawing your attention to it.
Simple appreciation.
Or maybe you're discussing a new product with someone and they say, "Clock It, this new phone has a battery that lasts 2 days." It's just a casual yet effective way to highlight a key feature. This generalized usage still retains that core idea of noticing something, but without the intense scrutiny or the competitive undertones of its original meaning. It became a versatile tool for simply pointing things out, from the mundane to the magnificent.
And then the phrase landed on TikTok.
Oh, yes. Accelerator.
Oh, unequivocally. TikTok became the primary accelerator for its widespread global adoption, and, perhaps most notably, it shifted its predominant contemporary usage. On TikTok, Clock It didn't just spread, it exploded, but often in a much more fun, celebratory, and far less critical way than its ballroom genesis. Here, it's primarily used to hype up an outfit, to celebrate a bold move, showcase a new look, or simply draw attention to something impressive or noteworthy.
So more positive reinforcement.
Absolutely. You'll frequently see it in captions on OTD posts, which, for listeners, stands for Outfit of the Day. Someone's confidently showing off their carefully curated ensemble. The caption might simply be, OTD, clock it. It's an invitation, really. Admire the details I've put together, the cut of the jacket, the choice of accessories.
Right. Look at this cool thing I did.
Exactly. Or in a highly choreographed dance video, after a particularly intricate or impressive move, the creator might just add "clock it" to emphasize their skill and precision. This transformation was deeply intertwined with TikTok's unique ecosystem. The platform's short-form video format thrives on brevity, immediate impact. It makes phrases like "clock it" just perfectly suited for succinct captions and these viral sound bites. It's punchy, it's memorable, easily adaptable to a visual medium.
And the algorithm loves that stuff.
Oh, profoundly. This rapid dissemination is deeply connected to TikTok's sophisticated algorithm. The For You page, for instance. It's not just about likes, it's a finely tuned system. It prioritizes content generating high watch time, shares, comments. This creates this powerful feedback loop. Content using a catchy phrase like "clock it" gets easily consumed and shared, which leads to higher engagement, which in turn signals to the algorithm, hey, this is popular. Push it out to millions more users, often within hours.
Wow, that fast.
That fast. It makes phrases like "clock it" ideal for rapid dissemination because they're short, memorable, and incredibly adaptable to this wide array of positive sort of show-and-tell scenarios. The significant shift, from the critical, discerning observation in ballroom to a generally more celebratory affirmation, it truly reflects the aspirational, often feel-good, high-energy tone that characterizes so much of TikTok content. It's less about finding a flaw, more about spotlighting something remarkable.
Right, less spot the mistake, more look at this awesome thing.
Precise.
Okay, so here's where it gets particularly interesting, because we can now clearly observe the manifestations of Clock It, trending across numerous platforms. It's not subtle anymore, is it? It's become a prominent fixture in digital communication. Those TikTok clips you mentioned, they just embody virality, almost always paired with compelling visual content that amplifies the phrase's impact. Like you said, think about a creator executing a complex dance routine with astonishing precision their residents. They might use "clock it" right at the climax of the hardest move. It's like saying, "Did you see that? Appreciate the skill."
Exactly, a punctuation mark.
Or a fashion influencer unveiling a meticulously put together outfit, layering textures, colors, accessories perfectly. The caption is often just a simple, confident "clock it." It functions as a declaration, an invitation to admire the effort, the artistry, the eye for style.
Yeah, look what I did.
But its reach extends far beyond TikTok, right? We're also seeing clock it becoming pervasive in memes across platforms like Twitter, X, and Instagram. In those spaces, it functions as this clever shorthand for pointing out something that's either obvious, subtly funny, or maybe a particularly insightful observation the creator wants to highlight. Imagine a popular meme format depicting a seemingly mundane situation, but there's one hilarious, often overlooked detail tucked away in the background. The caption, "Clock it," immediately directs your attention like a spotlight to that specific, often comedic element. It's like saying, "Did you see what I saw? Because if not, you need to clock this."
Pointing out the hidden joke.
Yeah. And comedic skits on these platforms are also remixing the phrase for humor. Creators will often exaggerate the act of clocking something, sometimes to a ridiculously trivial degree, just for a laugh. Picture someone pretending to scrutinize, I don't know, a friend's perfectly normal sandwich, then dramatically declaring with mock seriousness, "Clock it. The precise alignment of the mustard to the edge of the bread is chef's kiss." It playfully spoofs that idea of hyper-awareness.
Making the mundane seem extraordinary for comedic effect.
Exactly. And significantly, we're seeing clock it increasingly used as empowerment language. It's a powerful way to uplift oneself or others, celebrate achievements, or confidently declare success and self-assurance. After achieving a personal goal, making a bold career move, or maybe just embracing a new confident persona, someone might declare, "I just landed my dream job, clock it." It's a statement of confidence, an invitation to witness and acknowledge their triumph. It's truly fascinating to notice where this phrase pops up. I encourage you, listening, keep an ear and eye out. I guarantee you'll start noticing it even more now that we've talked about it.
Yeah, definitely. And if we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, what we're witnessing with Clock It is a classic, albeit incredibly accelerated example of linguistic evolution. It's a highly common trajectory for slang. It underscores this recurring pattern where a significant amount of new, innovative slang frequently originates in marginalized communities. Specifically, as we discussed, communities like the Black, Latinx, and LGBTQ+ ballroom scenes. These communities are often, in essence, these laboratories of linguistic innovation, developing terms that offer incredibly unique and efficient ways to express complex ideas, to build a collective identity, and to communicate within their specific cultural contexts, sometimes out of necessity for coded communication even.
All right, language born from specific needs and creativity.
Exactly. And the mechanisms of adoption are incredibly insightful. These terms aren't just random. They are often born out of necessity, out of a deeply creative impulse, a need for nuanced expression that mainstream vocabulary might not yet offer. They create an internal shorthand, a sophisticated linguistic toolkit, allowing community members to understand each other on a deeper level. When these terms then begin to seep into the mainstream, it's often because they effectively fill a linguistic gap. They offer a more punchy, a more expressive, or maybe a more culturally resonant alternative to existing words. This pattern profoundly highlights the incredible creativity, resilience, and linguistic innovation inherent within these groups, demonstrating how they often become vital wellsprings for mainstream language, consistently enriching our broader vocabulary. It's a testament to the cultural power and influence of these communities, even if, the origins are sometimes forgotten or overlooked in that rapid mainstream adoption cycle.
And when we talk about that rapid adoption, we absolutely have to zero in on the undeniable engine of virality, TikTok and its very specific platform mechanics. TikTok's algorithm is just a masterclass in accelerating this process, isn't it?
It really is.
It rewards content that is not only easily consumed and shared, but also highly engaging in a way that creates this incredibly powerful and self-reinforcing feedback loop. A catchy audio clip, a memorable phrase, or a distinct way of using a word like clock it can quickly become ubiquitous because the algorithm is designed to constantly push what's already gaining traction. It's optimized to keep users scrolling and consuming, and easily digestible, repeatable content is absolutely perfect for that model.
Yeah, it feeds itself.
This phenomenon is greatly amplified by the specific user behavior fostered on the platform, too. The remarkable ease of creating and consuming short-form video content. It means that slang doesn't just spread. It explodes into common parlance at an unprecedented rate. Users see a video, they hear a soundbite, and it's incredibly simple for them to imitate it, adapt it to their own unique content, and then share it with their networks. This rapid-fire imitation and adaptation is precisely how a phrase like clock it transforms into a shared linguistic tool for millions of users in a remarkably short span of time. You'll often notice a particular sound going viral, maybe a specific music clip, a voiceover, a comedic monologue, and almost invariably the words or phrases attached to that sound also spread like wildfire. Clock It has frequently ridden on the coattails of these viral audios, embedding itself deeper into the cultural consciousness with each new creation and adaptation.
And this phenomenon of linguistic evolution and virality, while incredibly fast now, isn't entirely novel, as you alluded to. It's part of a broader, consistent pattern we can aptly describe as cultural recycling. We can draw clear parallels with numerous other phrases that have followed very similar paths, from specific cultural origins to widespread mainstream adoption.
Like what? What other examples come to mind?
Well, consider terms like yas, that high-energy affirmation. It originated in queer and drag culture, particularly tied to ballrooms, much like clock it.
Oh.
Or shade, which began as a subtle, often nonverbal form of insult or diss within the same ballroom scene. Famously popularized through Jenny Livingston's seminal documentary, Paris is Burning.
Right, throwing shade.
Exactly.
Right.
Slay, meaning to do something exceptionally well, and read, meaning to intelligently and humorously insult someone, they also share similar trajectories, from specific cultural roots into broader usage.
So this happens a lot.
It happens constantly. These phrases began in very specific cultural contexts, offering unique and powerful ways of expression that resonated deeply within those communities. They then underwent a process of adoption, adaptation, and sometimes significant transformation as they were embraced by mainstream culture. This pattern isn't a new invention. Language consistently recycles itself. Old words or newly minted terms gain new life or acquire entirely new meanings as they traverse different social landscapes and generational cohorts. It vividly demonstrates the cyclical nature of cultural influence, where marginalized communities often innovate and create the linguistic trends that eventually permeate and often immeasurably enrich the broader cultural lexicon. The inherent challenge, of course, is that with this rapid mainstream adoption, the original nuance, the depth of meaning, and often the historical context can become diluted or, regrettably, even entirely forgotten.
And that very point leads us directly into the heart of a very important and often passionate discussion that inevitably arises when niche slang makes its way into the mainstream, what we call the nuance debate.
Right. The dilution argument.
Exactly. The core argument here, which you hear from many cultural commentators, academics, members of the originating communities, is that when phrases like clock it are adopted by a wider, often less informed audience, they can be inadvertently stripped of their original cultural nuance, their historical depth, or even their foundational context. What once was a very specific, often critical or highly skilled observation within ballroom culture, carrying layers of meaning about authenticity, performance, presentation, it can become, as we've seen, a much lighter, more generic and celebratory exclamation on TikTok.
The meaning shifts, or arguably shrinks.
Yeah. For instance, consider the profound difference between clocking a detail critically in a ballroom competition where it could genuinely determine the outcome and speaks to this deep internalized understanding of the craft, versus a casual clock it, new shoes, posted on TikTok. While the latter is undeniably harmless and fun, it certainly lacks the intensity, the cultural weight, and the historical resonance of the former.
Completely different weight.
This is a common and understandable tension that arises when language crosses these cultural boundaries. Some might argue it's almost like a word losing a part of its soul as it gains widespread popularity. It truly makes you ponder. Have you, listening, ever felt this way about other phrases that have moved from a specific cultural origin to widespread mainstream use? Does it bother you, or do you view it as simply the natural, maybe unstoppable evolution of language?
That's the core tension, isn't it? And it raises an important question for us. Why do some phrases, like clock it, explode in popularity with such rapid and widespread adoption, while countless others just fade into obscurity? It's usually a powerful confluence of several key factors.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, there's the intrinsic linguistic quality of the phrase itself. Clock it is short. It's punchy, memorable, and remarkably adaptable. Its inherent flexibility allows it to fit seamlessly into a wide array of contexts, from positive affirmation to neutral observation. That makes it incredibly versatile. It doesn't lock users into one specific emotion or intent, allowing individuals to kind of infuse their own meaning, makes it personal yet broadly applicable.
Easy to use in lots of ways.
Exactly. Second, the dynamics of the modern internet play a truly massive role. It's that perfect storm we talked about, a highly visual, short-form content platform like TikTok, combined with sophisticated algorithmic amplification that relentlessly pushes trending content. And there's also this pervasive, growing desire online for concise, impactful language, quick captions, snappy responses, easily digestible snippets. Clock It fits this communicative style perfectly. It communicates a clear, engaging message efficiently in this, attention-scarce environment.
Cuts through the noise.
Precisely. And lastly, perhaps most subtly, it taps into a fundamental aspect of contemporary internet culture, the desire to notice, to appreciate, and to highlight details. From meticulously curated outfit reveals to those viral unboxing videos where every tiny feature is pointed out, there's a collective fascination with specifics. Clock It provides a direct, engaging, and often celebratory way to participate in that cultural impulse. So it's not just about the word itself, but how perfectly it aligns with and enhances the communication style of digital natives.
That makes a lot of sense. And what Clock It truly reveals about the landscape of internet linguistics is nothing short of remarkable, I think. First and foremost, it vividly highlights the sheer speed of diffusion. Slang can now travel from incredibly niche, maybe insular communities, to global recognition at an unprecedented, almost dizzying pace. What might have taken years, maybe even decades, to permeate popular culture in the past now happens in a matter of months, or even weeks, thanks to the instantaneous, hyper-connected nature of our online platforms.
The acceleration is staggering.
It really is. And this phenomenon points directly to platform power. The immense influence of platforms like TikTok in shaping contemporary language and broader cultural trends simply cannot be overstated. They are not merely spaces for content creation, they function as powerful linguistic incubators and accelerators.
Yeah.
What trends on TikTok often dictates what swiftly enters common parlance across the entire internet and eventually permeates everyday, real-world conversations.
They set the agenda, in a way.
They really do.
Furthermore, it exemplifies what we call participatory culture. Everyone on these platforms, from the casual scroller to the avid content creator, can be a contributor, a commentator, a disseminator of language. This collective, instantaneous participation directly fuels language's rapid evolution, transforming it into this dynamic, ever-changing landscape. New terms are constantly being introduced, adapted, and spread by millions of individual users simultaneously. The internet, in this sense, acts as both a rapid incubator for linguistic innovation and this massive instantaneous echo chamber, allowing phrases to emerge, flourish, and propagate with unparalleled efficiency. It makes you reflect on just how quickly you notice new words entering common parlance thanks to the internet, doesn't it?
Indeed. Which brings us to another critical question that always arises with these viral linguistic phenomena. Is Clock It truly here to stay? Is it destined for linguistic longevity? Or is it merely a fleeting moment, inevitably slated to fade like so many other viral phrases before it?
The million-dollar question for any trend.
It really is. The life cycle of slang is notoriously unpredictable, a testament to the capricious nature of language itself. Some slang terms, like cool or awesome, become so deeply integrated into general vocabulary that they lose their trendy status and become timeless, almost invisible parts of our everyday speech. Others, however, shine brightly and intensely for a brief, glorious period before gracefully or sometimes abruptly fading away, replaced by the next catchy expression to capture the collective imagination.
So what makes one stick and another fade?
Several factors typically contribute to a phrase's potential for longevity. Does it truly fill a unique linguistic gap? Does it express something in a way no other existing word or phrase quite can? Is it versatile enough to be used across diverse contexts, far beyond its initial viral application, adapting to new scenarios and meanings? Does it continue to resonate with new generations and evolve alongside them, maintaining its relevance?
And that nuance debate plays a role too.
Oh, definitely. The nuance debate we discussed earlier plays a significant role here. If the phrase's meaning becomes too diluted, if it completely sheds its original cultural punch and becomes overly generic, it might lose its distinctive appeal and fade faster. While its current widespread, celebratory use on TikTok has given it massive visibility and propelled it into the mainstream. This very ubiquity might also make it more susceptible to being replaced by the next viral phrase, unless it genuinely establishes itself with a more stable, universally understood meaning that extends beyond the current trend cycle. Its long-term future, like many viral terms, remains, well, somewhat uncertain. So for you, our listener, here's a thought to perhaps ponder as you continue to navigate the ever-evolving world of language. Consider how the incredibly rich origin story of Clock It in LGBTQ plus ballroom culture enriches its meaning for you. Does knowing that history change how you perceive it? Or even how you might choose to use the phrase moving forward? Does it add a layer of appreciation, maybe a sense of cultural connection, or perhaps even a subtle responsibility to acknowledge its roots?
That's a truly powerful and resonant thought to leave us with. This exploration of Clock It has been absolutely captivating, tracing its journey from its specific rich cultural origins to its current widespread viral status across the internet. It really illustrates how phrases like this offer us such a compelling glimpse into both linguistic innovation and the dynamic, ever-changing nature of cultural exchange online. Thank you for this incredibly insightful analysis. It's genuinely put Clockit into a whole new perspective for me.
My pleasure. And thank you, our attentive listener, for joining us on this journey into internet language and its intricate pathways. We genuinely encourage you to continue observing the subtle, fascinating ways language shifts and evolves around you every single day. It's happening all the time. Next time on Trending Unpacked, we'll be breaking down the buzz around Big Bang. You won't want to miss it.